Carlos Contreras for ESPN from the UFC Hall of Fame induction with the bad guy, Chael Sonnen, who's been inducted tonight for the first fight against Anderson Silva. How are you feeling with this celebration on your name?
Yes, shocking. Shocking that it took so long. Shocking that they could have a credible Hall of Fame and not have me in it. In all fairness, it's kind of ridiculous. I've beaten more Hall of Famers than anybody. That's a true story.
And you just been in Brazil with Anderson.
Are you aware of that? Because, I mean, those are stats that people don't keep track of. I have beaten more Hall of Famers than anyone in the world, and they finally put me in. In all fairness, come on, what took so long?
And some of them, I mean,
I'm supposed to act like grateful. Oh, thank you for putting me in. What took you so long to put me in? It's a little bit annoying, frankly.
And you fought Anderson, who's been inducted tonight with you. Vanderlei and also Shogun.
Yeah, thank you for knowing that.
Who else is on the list?
I assume Rampage was in. Is Rampage not in? Do I have that wrong? I thought Rampage Jackson was in. He'll be going in. Can we agree on that?
Well, you just were in Brazil with Anderson. How was it? How was the experience of this boxing thing?
Oh, my goodness. This was incredible. This was one of the great events I have ever participated in. I can't even tell you. They thought of everything. It was so disappointing that it wasn't, going to become a new fight brand or a fight company. Not just for me. I would love to go back, but just for other guys, it was such an opportunity. But yeah, Anderson's good. He is just a really good fighter. He is so tricky. And even in boxing, where he's just got these two hands and he can only throw them to the body and the head, but he fooled me the whole time. I think he's going this way and he's coming this way. He bounced off the ropes one time, and I was in the middle of the fight watching him go, man, you move so interesting, so confusing.
And he's been, how's your personal relationship with him? Because you've been hosting his conferences, you fought him in boxing this time. He even gave you a rose because it was Valentine's Day right?
Yeah. No, that was fun. He's been very nice. My son is, where's Anderson on your list? He's your number 4 fighter of all time? Yeah, but you have to understand, I'm his number 6 fighter. Anderson's his 4, and I'm his number 6 of all time. So Anderson gave him this, as a matter of fact. Gave him this.
Just the boxing glove.
Yeah, gave him the glove. And then Anderson had one. Can you show it to the camera? Yeah, Anderson gave my son this last week in Sao Paulo, and then Anderson wore one just like it too. So I don't think our relationship could be any better. We had a great time.
So Anderson's number 4. Who's your number 1?
George St. Pierre.
Then number 2.
Randy Couture.
Number 3.
Who is it again? Shogun.
He's here. You have John Jones on your list because he also fought you.
Yeah, John Jones was up
Yeah,
there.
he was 3rd.
I think he was 3.
Yeah, he was
I think
3.
Shogun was 4.
I forgot. Yeah, Shogun was 4. Anderson was 5th. You were 6th.
Yeah.
And people just met him in the show with DC, and they're going crazy about him online, right?
He had fun. He's crashing the party. Now, what is your role today? You're a bouncer? Your bodyguard? What is it?
Are you coming back to the show with DC?
Yeah. He asked me what role I am. I'm just a party pooper of the whole thing.
All right. Fair enough. Party crasher is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
All right.
So you had some great moments here in Las Vegas, especially the atmosphere for those Anderson fights were amazing. What do you expect this weekend with UFC 303?
Yeah, thanks. Wow. It's very interesting. Pierre has an amateur record. This guy's an amateur. He's had 10 fights or 11 fights. This guy's an amateur. And might be the greatest to have ever done it. He might be. He's got 2 championships at 2 different weight classes. He's the reigning world champion. Prohaska is a very tall order, but he's already beat him once, and now Prohaska, Pierre's willing to do it again. Pierre was willing to go up to heavyweight and take on Aspinall. Like, that's not just talk. He really would have done it. And he's from a different sport. It's amazing to see him come over here and be a leader in the locker room. Like, there is no sport with more fake tough guys than this one. These guys get called to work 3 times a year, and very few of them can do it. And you got a kickboxer with less than 10 fights who's never had a wrestling match. Oh, by the way, he's got a gold belt that says he's the best at this, and he's willing to do it more than the rest of you. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah, being a wrestler, we always hear that. Like, once they wrestle Pereira, he's done, right? And what do you think is his secret? What do you think he's doing well to not get taken down and winning? Because he doesn't seem to be training much longer, because he's been fighting every 3 months. He's always on the road, like doing sponsorship stuff. So what do you think is his secret on once the cage closes?
Well, and I have the questions too, just like you. I spent a lot of time with Glover Teixeira. He's one of the best ever, and I spent time at his gym. It's an MMA gym. It's not as though that's like, the place you go for wrestling, like that's Dagestan and Khabib's gym, or even AKA with Cormier. So how is he getting so good? How is he getting up to his feet? How is he getting those underhooks? How is he never getting submitted? How does he never get tired? The guy is really impressive. Frankie Edgar was my favorite fighter and retired, and now, man, I watch this Pereira. I'm really impressed.
You have been winning on Saturday?
Oh yeah. Pereira can win. I mean, it's one of these things whenever you're too willing. There's also a confidence there that comes back and bites you. Pereira's not without mistakes. He puts his hands down a lot. He puts his hands down against Adesanya. He would have never got punched or knocked out if he kept his hands up, which is a very basic move. But you get these guys and they get good and they want to show off and get the oohs and ahs from the crowd, and it can come back and bite you. And Prohaska's got some really tough angles to deal with. So it's a very good fight, but I just respect that Pereira stepped up on short notice and is risking everything to take him on.
You just mentioned Frankie Edgar, and I was going to ask you what you think of your own class, because you share the octagon with Shogun, with Vanderlei, and you share even the Ultimate Fighter with Vanderlei, and now Frankie is also here being inducted. What do you think about this year's class, also Joanna Jędrzejczyk?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, in my opinion, like these are some of my favorite guys. I remember the first time I ever saw Vanderlei Silva in person. He walked into Randy Couture's gym. I was on the mat. Vanderlei was late. He walked in, he had his bag on his shoulder, and there was like this glow around him. That was the guy. He was like 22-0 over in Japan, or 22 straight. He stomped out Sakuraba. I mean, it was about 2008, and and then Shogun is, Shogun was Justin Gaethje before there was a Justin Gaethje. Everybody admired. It went from Big Nog to Shogun in his style, and Frankie Edgar was my favorite fighter ever. Joanna certainly made her place. So good class. I'm happy to be the head of it.
Most people recognize you as one of the best trash talkers ever, and I remember we did an interview like a few years ago when you were going to fight Shogun, and I was asking you, why are you talking trash about Shogun? You said, was there bad to say about Shogun? You're just respecting him so much.
Sure.
Well, that was a different thing for you.
Yeah, sure. I don't remember saying much about Shogun. Maybe about the fight or something. I don't remember that very well. He wasn't a willing participant. There wasn't like a back and forth. But Shogun and his brother Ninja too, man. I had great memories watching those guys when I was younger.
Well, just loudly for me, Vanderlei was just here. He said, like, now everything's all good with you, but if you want to do a boxing match, he's willing to do it. Are you interested in that?
No, I didn't want to fight Vanderlei. I don't want to grapple Vanderlei. I don't love being around Vanderlei. Like he's a very intimidating guy. In all fairness, but he did turn out to be a very nice guy too. So maybe I just don't understand Vanderlei. First time I met him, I sparred with him, and I didn't have a mouthpiece. And we'd never met, and I didn't know if he spoke very good English. I remember just pointing to my teeth. I was like, oh, man, I'd heard about this guy. This is going to be terrible. And he just nodded yes, that he understood. And he took care of me for the whole round. And I don't know if he even knows that happened, but that did happen at Randy Couture's gym in 2007.
Well, Chael, thanks a lot for your time. Enjoy the evening and all the celebration on that amazing fight you had with Anderson Silva.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you so much.